I gave $5,000 to this AI to trade crypto for a year. Today I'm gonna update you on Stoic after using it for 118 days and after going through this week's massive, insane market crash that took most cryptos down 50%. We're gonna talk about how Stoic handled that and dive a little bit more in depth in how Stoic works. This last weekend has been one of the most insane market dips I've ever seen in crypto. We saw almost everything across the board drop 50% or more. If you're like me and you're invested in crypto during this last week, then it was just a gut-wrenching, horrible week where you didn't want to check your phone, you didn't want to check your alerts, and just pretend like none of it existed because it was just so bad and so hard to sit through the market and just to deal with all that. And you're probably on edge right now wondering, like, should I even be here? Like, what's gonna happen in the crypto market? Is it gonna keep going down or what's next? And I feel like I have a really unique perspective, not because I'm a genius, but because my father-in-law pays a lot of money for a lot of different newsletters. Some of these are over $10,000. They give him access to a lot of research on crypto, and he's just really nice and shares all that information with me and forwards all the emails to me. And so I get to read through a lot of that and get a feel for where these people who are paid a lot of money to research this stuff and have been really accurate in the past, where they see the entire market going and what's next. So I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later in the video. Right now, I wanna talk about Stoic. It's been 118 days since I launched this experiment, and in 118 days, my $5,000 has gone from $5,000 to $10,476. And as you can see, over the last 7 days, I'm actually down 20%. Before this sell-off, I was actually at $14,000, but then after the sell-off, it dipped so low that at one point it was at $7,500. So obviously Stoic lost money during this market crash. Stoic doesn't have the ability to make money when the entire crypto market is dropping. It's just not possible because it doesn't have the ability to short the market. They have talked about introducing that in the future, but that's not currently a feature of Stoic. So the big question you're probably wondering is, how does that compare to the average crypto? Had you invested just broadly in the crypto market or just broadly in Bitcoin, would you really have made any more money with Stoic than you would have investing in, various stocks or altcoins or Bitcoin or Ethereum? I'm gonna talk about that in 1 second, but real quick, I wanna explain how Stoic works because recently Syndicator released a blog post going into more detail in exactly how Stoic works. First off, Stoic is a long-term trading strategy. It's not actually meant to make trades every day. I see that a lot in the comments. People asking, why isn't Stoic making trades today? I don't understand. Is it not working? Well, it's not supposed to actually make trades every single day. The way Stoic works is it picks positions it thinks over a long period of time are going to go up. It'll invest money into those positions and it holds as the price grows. The only reason it makes a trade is if the algorithm finds another project in the market it thinks is gonna go up further or go up faster. It'll trade one of your tokens it thinks is less likely to go up for a new one it thinks is more likely to go up. The second thing is Stoic only makes these adjustments once per day. So Stoic is actually trying to trade the least amount possible. That's because you get hit with fees every time you trade, and it just wouldn't be profitable if it was trading constantly. The second thing is I had thought hedging potentially played a role in the trading strategy, like it used the funds from hedging to jump into trades when it needed to, and so it's important to have that money hedged. Well, they've come out and said that that's not true, that hedging is just there to keep prices stable, and that you can set it at whatever you want and whatever you think. So if you think that the market is about to go up, it's better to have your hedging really low so that all your money is invested and you can get that price jump. On the other hand, if you think the market is really gonna just drop, then it's better to have your hedging high. That way you're least affected by that market drop. They don't recommend you adjust your hedging often just because every time you do that, you're gonna get the fees from selling on Binance and the fees from buying on Binance. So be really careful about when and how you do it. But just know that's what its purpose is there for, and there's obviously dynamic hedging, which is just set by Stoic and does whatever they think is best. For most people, that's gonna be the best fit for most of the time. And lastly, I wanna point out the fact that although Stoic is pretty awesome and performs really well and does seem to, so far during this experiment, consistently beat the market, it isn't magic. It's not like it's going to somehow make you money when the entire crypto market is crashing. So real quick, let's take a look on how Stoic compared to stocks as well as different cryptocurrencies during this market crash. Had you invested $5,000 on the exact same day I invested $5,000 into Stoic, this is exactly how much you'd have. And as you can see, with stocks, you'd have about half or less. With Bitcoin, you'd have literally what we started with, which is about $5,000. You'd have made $215 so far. With a lot of these just typical average cryptos, you'd be at about half. And then with Ethereum, you'd be about $1,000 less than the current price we're at with Stoic. And had you invested in all these cryptos as just like a basket investment and took equal positions in each one, your average return would be $6,591. So as you can see, versus average investments in the crypto market or in stocks, Stoic is still crushing it. It's still making just about twice as much, even with the losses. Now, obviously, for anyone who invested in the last month or the last few weeks, you've probably lost a massive amount of money. You're probably down 20, 30, or 40% because you got in right before this massive dip, and with the crypto market all going down, there's just no way for Stoic to make money currently. So you're probably at a loss and you're wondering, should I sell? Should I keep holding on? Like, what should I do? We do know that Stoic in a bull market will make you a lot of money, but in a bear market will not make you money. So really what you need to know is if prices are gonna continue to go up or will prices continue to go down. So we're gonna take a real quick look at that, and I'm gonna talk about what some experts are saying on what's going to happen next with the crypto market. The first thing is we have something called the Fear and Greed Index, and it's basically an indicator of a good time to buy and a good time to sell. When the index is at max greed, that's usually a good indicator that it's a time to sell because people are getting too greedy and prices are going to go down. On the other hand, when the index is at max fear, that's usually a good indicator that it's a time to buy because people are so fearful that they're not seeing the buying opportunity that's right in front of their eyes. Currently, the Fear and Greed Index is sitting at extreme fear, indicating that it's a good time to buy. But it's good to note that the Fear and Greed Index isn't always an accurate picture of when to buy and sell. There are times when it's at extreme fear, when prices just keep going lower and lower and lower. So it's something to be taken always with a grain of salt. Historically, the crypto market follows Bitcoin, and Bitcoin follows the same 4 cycles. We saw it in 2013, we saw it in 2017, and we've seen it so far in 2020 and 2021. And that is, it starts with a bearish cycle where prices go down. It then goes into an accumulation phase where it builds up steam, and then goes into a bull run phase where prices go up. And then it ends with a parabolic phase where prices go through the roof. And then it starts the whole process over and goes back into the bearish phase and then continues the cycle over and over and over again. At least that's what's happened so far in the history of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Each of these phases historically has ended with a major correction. So the bear run ends with a major correction into the accumulation phase, which ends with a major correction into the bull run phase, ends with a major correction into the parabolic phase. Based on how things have unfolded so far in 2020 and 2021, that would mean that this correction would be the end of the bull run and the start of the parabolic phase. And I'm not the only one that's thinking this or saying this. There are a lot of experts and really smart people who are saying the exact same thing because they see the exact same pattern. The parabolic phase is typically, out of all 4 phases, the phase where you make the most ridiculous amount of money because prices get disconnected from reality. People think they're mad geniuses. They start going crazy, and just so much money can be made and so much money can be lost if you don't get out before it all crashes into just the worst thing ever. Now, obviously there's no sign or something that tells us that this correction happens to be the major correction before the parabolic phase, but it's such a substantial correction that it seems likely that it is the correction right before the parabolic phase. And that also doesn't mean that this correction can't go deeper and lower. But on the other hand, this has been a historically low and deep correction, and for it to go further lower seems less likely than it to kind of round off and continue now into the parabolic phase. Some experts, though, are saying that it could go as low as $20,000. Others are saying that, yeah, that's a possibility, but it's more likely that it's gonna go up. Others are saying right now it's just gonna continue to go up. Everyone is kind of in different spectrums on what they think is going to happen, but almost everyone agrees that we're entering the 4th and final stage, which is the parabolic phase, where prices just skyrocket and go bananas. And if that's the case, then Stoic should handle that really, really well. I would guess. It's never really gone through a parabolic rally, so it's kind of hard to tell how it will handle it, but it should handle it really well. As for like a time frame for all of this, I have no idea. Some people are saying that it could happen in the fall. Some people are saying it could happen in December. Some people are saying it's gonna happen summer next year. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I try to answer every single one, and I'll see you next week.